So I'm glad we haven't broken down. The cup holders are absolutely sick in this. 194,000 miles, the one with a huge body kit on it.
Now I gotta ride or die.
Cold, jolly windy day. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Now, we've owned this as we start it up. Oh, aggressive music from the fantastic sound system. Now, I've owned this car a couple of weeks. I have not done a proper drive in it because literally yesterday we fixed it. During, you know, Christmas, time off with my family, I'd only just got round to actually properly fixing this thing yesterday. I then drove it home, did the video, that was it. Or thought to myself this morning, I haven't actually driven that car yet, so today we're going to take it and see if there's anything else wrong with it. Basically, I want to see if what I think we've done and what we've achieved yesterday has got us to the point where I'm really happy. I just drove it here, so first drive, or you know, the initial driving, or the aspect of actually getting into a car and driving it has already been done, but I haven't necessarily put my foot down, actually played with everything in this car. Yes, I've owned it for a while, but to daily drive this thing, you will find out what the problems are. So that's what we're going to start doing. We're going to go and see what this is actually like. 194,000 miles again. This is the cheapest, or one of the cheapest E61 Tourings for sale at the time. It was a bargain. Yes, that means that it might have a few issues, but we'll get past them. Right, let's leave the car park. Leave the car park. We've got Carisbrooke Castle over here. If anybody ever wants to come to the Isle of Wight, it's a lovely bit of place to go there. Yeah, we're doing castles on the channel now. I grew up in the era of these cars coming out. I remember that front end, the running lights coming round the headlights. It was such a cool look. It was so ahead of its time from the previous generation. Oh, I love that generation. This generation, it just, there was something about it. So I've always really wanted to own one, and after driving tons of them, it was always in my mind as, you know, we should get one of them one day for the channel. So thankfully, here we are. Thank you to you guys for watching. It means we can do more stuff like this. It's no race car. It's not gonna, you know, hurt your face with its accelerating performance. But the first thing I noticed is, and I will of course notice this, is how comfy it is. The only initial drive I did of this was picking it up, and obviously the back was completely slammed, and it was really not happy at the back. It was bumpy, it was silly low, but it felt like a lowered car, like any other lowered car that I've maybe shot for the channel or even owned. Since putting those springs on the back, and I know from experience of having an X5 where the airbags at the back were good, but it's retained so much comfort, even going back to a coil. So if you are actually wanting to take your E60 or E61 from air to coil, and you're a bit worried that you're gonna, you know, lose some comfort maybe, you're really not. These suspension I've put on the back of this is absolutely sublime. It is comfortable. You can go over bumps, you will not feel it. I went over speed bumps in my local Asda on the way here to get a little drink, and I was just so impressed that it just glided over them. And I know that sounds really silly, but you think at 194,000 miles, you would expect some sort of bang, some sort of uncomfortable noise. There just isn't any. And that leads me on to my first port of call with this car, is that mileage won't put a lot of you off, and I'm so happy it doesn't. I really am ecstatic that so many people find the pleasure in high mileage cars, because I do. I think it's fantastic, and I love to drive them to understand their life, because you will straight away understand the life of a car, especially with that mileage on it, if you drive it. This has been sat on the motorway its entire life. I think I've already told you guys that I believe this to be in the real estate industry, and it went up and down motorways most of its life. So the interior is really nice. It's been kept up together. There's no crazy scratches. The mileage has been put on and put on and put on, but it hasn't been used as in and out, you know, going in and out of car parks, you know, stuff like that. There's no bolster wear. Just, it's nice to see that. And owning a car at this mileage, considering I've owned cars at 180,000 miles, this is the highest mileage car I've ever owned in my entire life. It's probably one of the best, and especially sometimes what I do for a living, I turn all the heaters off, I turn all the music off, and I have a camera, and that sometimes shows off how uncomfortable and noisy and just unrefined some cars are. Notice how nice a car is when you actually turn everything off. Something that you'll probably never do in your own car, something that you'll never want to do because you've always got the music on, you've always got the heaters on, you're always chatting, there's people in the car. Sometimes I get to understand a car a little bit quicker in that sense because I can, look at the mileage and go, well, there's a bit of miles on there, right? How is it to drive? Well, it's quite nice to drive, but there's a lot of bangs and there's noises everywhere. This, it's just, and we'll do this as well. Look at this, pan roof on this one, which works really well. It hasn't leaked yet, and I've had it open and I've had it closed. So I think I've won there on the pan roof game. Goes right back like that. Fantastic. What a piece of engineering. That's really, really cool. We'll just find a bus, so we'll shut it again because it's a little bit raining. It's raining all the time in the UK at the moment. I'm just pleasantly surprised what you can get for your money these days, and thankfully we've changed the rear suspension. Pretty easy job, simple enough, inexpensive as well, which is fantastic. Tons of other things to talk about as well. The cup holders are absolutely sick in this. I've put my drink in it today and they're doing such a good job. They don't move around. This one's got black interior, so it feels really nice. It actually feels a lot newer than it is in here. The wood effect, the fire wood, which is what the actual name of this wood trim is actually really nice in person. It looks better than on video, in my opinion, especially against the black. And even down to simple things like the steering wheel. It's not necessarily thick, it's not got tons of stuff on it, but it's still got everything you could need button wise, and it still feels nice on the palms. And the fact you can get deals on these is even better to me. Yes, this is, and we will talk about this now, this is the 520, so the baby engine, I suppose, of the diesel range. It's still got enough poke, and the sound system, the amenities, the heating comes on really, really nicely. If you get yourself a good one of these, which is what this is a very, very good example, you will be laughing, and there'll be tons of people out there that will agree with me on this as well, saying, bang for your buck, can you actually get a better car, daily car, for your money? Like, can you get a better car for this? I'm not so sure. I've driven a fair few things, and this is up there with one of my favourites, and it ain't that far away from my BMW E61 we had, a few years ago, the one with the huge body kit on it. This is a very similar generation to that, and this wasn't how much that was. That was a lot more money than this was, and it ain't that much of a different car. So I'm glad we haven't broken down. First off, I'm glad I haven't found any more bangs, squeaks, horribleness, and I'm so glad at how lovely this is to drive. I know as first drives go, this isn't the, it ain't a race car. It ain't, doing bits to make you yourself, but it's doing the other side of that, which is just being a really nice car, and I love this sort of car for that. I love that it's this good, even with that mileage on, even with the owners, even with, the years under its belt. It's just nice. It's just a lovely bit of kit, this. So, progress report. I really like this car. We are going to sell it though. We are going to, of course, move it on. I keep saying that in every video. So if you are interested in this car, you've got to this point, let me know. I will put it up for sale very, very soon, and we will move on into another car. And as we bring the pan roof closed, absolutely fantastic that it does that. I love the amenities, mate. Love the amenities, what you can get for your money these days. But thank you so much for watching, guys. If you did like today's video, just a gentle cruise in the E61, understanding this car a little bit more by driving it, actually driving it, and now it's fixed, now it's nice. I can't fault it, I really can't, and I'm glad that I've got a chance to own this for an extended period of time, daily drive it. I'm gonna throw my kids in it later, we're gonna go for a cruise in it and just sort of enjoy having a car like this on the driveway for a minute. But as ever, guys, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Let me know in the comments below, what else do you want to see from the E61? That's the question. What more do you want to see? And we'll see you all on the next